I was called the meeting to order at 6:30. This is the Village of Board meeting public hearing. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Roll call, please. Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Present.
Present.
Present. All right, this is a public hearing regarding the Planning and Zoning Board recommendation regarding a request for a voluntary annexation of not less than 14 properties along North Grand Avenue in unincorporated Antioch. Addresses 40824, 40810, 40792, 40764, 40746, 40738, 40724, 40694, 40682, 40648, 40640, 40628, 40588, and 40568 North Grand Avenue. Pin numbers 02 ending in 02, and the last one is ending in 026. Anyone here to testify that Mr. Cole? He should. Is there anybody that wishes to testify regarding this matter? Hey. Did you also sign up on the public comment sheet? Okay. I'll just have before you come up, I'll have the clerk administer both. You do it all right now.
While sounding testimony you'll give at this hearing is factual to the best of your knowledge.
Mr. Tom Baldo.
My comment is really kind of more of a question. Okay. I'm not an attorney, but my question deals with extraterrestrial jurisdiction. And here are some of the key aspects concerning extraterrestrial jurisdiction as derived from Public Act 102-1123. The law specifies that a county may not approve a special use permit for a commercial wind or solar energy facility if the proposed facility is located in an unincorporated area within 5 miles of the planning boundaries of a municipality, if the facility conflicts with the municipality's adopted comprehensive plan. So, for my chart, we are within 1.5 miles. And from past meetings, I believe the facility will conflict with the municipality's adopted comprehensive plan. This grants municipalities in Antioch a significant voice in land use decisions for renewable energy products just outside their corporate limits, allowing them to protect their future growth in existing plans. Point 2, annexation or municipal zoning compliance. The law includes a provision that states that the commercial wind or solar energy facility is to be located in an unincorporated area within the municipality's extraterrestrial zoning jurisdiction. The facility must either be annexed by the municipality or comply with the municipality's zoning regulations. Now, this is a critical point. It means that even if a property is not within a municipality's corporate limits, and it falls within the municipality's 1.5 miles, the Illinois Municipal Code typically says the project must adhere to municipal standards or be annexed into the municipality. In essence, Public Act 102-1123 gives municipalities such as Antioch more control and input over commercial wind and solar projects in their immediate vicinity than they previously had by requiring either annexation or compliance with municipal zoning. So I'm throwing that out there because I think it's applicable.
Thank you. Village attorney, okay, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you, sir. And for the record, my name is James Vasselli, Vasselley. I will not be sworn in. I am an officer of the court. I will not tell any lies. I don't really want to comment on anything other than the annexation process. This is a public hearing of limited jurisdiction. If so requested outside of this public hearing of limited jurisdiction to opine and issue an opinion on extraterritorial zoning, either generally or related to renewable energy sources, I'd be more than happy to. But as I said, this is a public hearing regarding those properties voluntarily wishing to annex into the village. And I really would like to keep it to that limited jurisdiction of ensuring that we give transparent responses that are required under law to people seeking input on the annexation process. But like I said, in a more general context, I'm more than happy to do that if so requested.
Thank you for the information. I believe I also received an email with the text, which we will look into that and research that.
I only bring that up as an alternative.
Sure, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Is it Marty Feld? Is that
I'm gonna have Monica Feld speak first and then I'll follow.
Sure. See,
If that's okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
that's always a good choice.
Yes, I know.
All right.
Wise reminder.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. My name is Monica Fell, and I live at 40792 North Grand Avenue. So authentic by nature, you probably know what that is. It's the Village of Antioch slogan. And our love of nature is why my husband and I moved to this area. We're so fortunate to live in a community where authentic nature exists at every turn. We know that the Village of Antioch values nature and works hard to maintain a balance between human endeavors and the health of our community's natural surroundings. A perfect example of this balance is Steep Point Creek Park across the street from here. This project led to the revealing of a beautiful winding creek that was once virtually hidden under concrete for many years. Trees and vegetation were added along with the playground and other amenities. Now it's a place of beauty for all to enjoy. My husband and I strongly believe that this proposed solar farm project does not represent responsible planning and placement. Instead, the land in question is better suited for Antioch's 2019 comprehensive plan. We urge the board to support our cause and allow us to be annexed into the village of Antioch so that our community can remain authentic by nature.
Thank you. Next, Marty Feld.
Marty Feld, 4792 North Grand Avenue, Antioch. As a retired fire chief, I am concerned in regards to the environmental impact from water runoff. The water that is used to mitigate a large-scale solar farm fire can carry debris, ash, and potentially toxic materials such as melted plastic and battery components. This water runoff will contaminate the drinking water supplies and our nearby aquatic ecosystem. My question is, has the Antioch Fire Department been contacted by any solar farm power companies to review potential issues or concerns pertaining to future solar farm projects in Antioch?
We don't, we have a fire district, so they're not technically
I'm
part of
sorry.
us. Yeah, so
I said
we
that.
we would have to ask, yeah, we would have to ask them, but yes, we will again take all these comments and take them for further research and follow up.
Thank you.
But thank you for coming out to this. I know it's been a long, probably stressful process for some of you, so I appreciate you participating in this. At this point, the second part of this process, No, you're good. Yeah, explain the process.
So the initial hearing was a public hearing before our Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals. And because the mayor and the village board believe in extraordinary amount of transparency, we are having a public hearing tonight on July the 23rd, and then having another public hearing on August the 13th. Everyone is invited again to come back and provide comment, either written or oral.
And just for information purposes, their county is having their public hearing on July 31st at the library at 2 p.m. I saw they put a little poster sign out there about yay big on the ground to give everybody notice of that hearing. So if you're interested in this, please mark that date on your calendar. Comments from the board. Trustee Pierce.
At this time, I only have one question because the attorney noted they on the solar farms another night. You mentioned just now they have a hearing at the county, notified by a little poster board out
At the library.
at the library to either approve or disapprove this. Does our actions holding this annexation process affect that? Or can they just blow through us and say, okay, we write that this?
So we are working to see again, this is not about the solar farm, this is about the annexation. And we are going to proceed on this track to listen to those people who want to come join us in the village and join us as they have filed a valid petition. Steps are being taken, and we are processing this with the utmost transparency and due diligence to ensure full statutory compliance under both applicable sections of the municipal code and the Antioch code to ensure that they could be annexed as soon as possible.
Didn't answer my question. Right. My question was, if we're processing these steps and going through this process, county has their hearing on July 31st. Can they just say, it's done?
We are, if they were annexed, and if they'll go through a recommendation process and they will go for a full ordinance bill.
Cindy,
They have to post, so they have, sorry,
Go ahead.
they have to go through their own processes to ensure that approvals are done. The approval, probably, I have not seen the board packet for that, so I do not have that information at this point in time.
I can assure you that myself, Township Supervisor Shaughnessy, the village attorney, and several others will be there on the 31st for that hearing. Questions?
I asked the question just a little bit.
Oh, you know what, since we have people watching on Zoom, do you mind coming up to the microphone? And yeah, if you want to ask a question, why don't you just come up here so then you can use the microphone as well.
Tom Gabadlo, 4084 North Grand Avenue. I'll ask the question just a little bit differently. Once a CPU, conditional use permit, has been issued, are we dead in the water?
With regards to the annexation.
Yes, well, in regards to the annexation, we are annexing in order to thwart the solar.
Well, the intentions for people annexing is either here or there. Annexation, as I've talked about, is not an intentional process like a criminal act where you talk about mens rea, the intent to do something. It is whether a person wants to come in, whether they file the appropriate paperwork, and all proper steps were taken. And I just want to make sure that's clear, and I know we talked about that at the Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals. So no, if the zoning is established through a different body with zoning jurisdiction, it does limit the village's authority to annex and thereafter zone.
I'm not sure I quite follow.
Yeah, I mean, once there's an order done by the county board with regard that goes first or goes in a different manner superseding the village's board, the village is limited to be able to take these steps. We are still researching whether what effect could be done after a CPU would be passed by the county board. But again, we are not here to talk about the solar farm. We are here to talk about the annexation process and what those proper statutory steps are here to undertake that process.
Not to be combative,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
the only reason, we are going for our area to be annexed is to stop the solar farm. That is
Sure.
of vital importance
We
to
understand.
everybody in Renton.
We understand.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, that's why we're here too.
Cindy McDonald, 40810 Grand Avenue. Can the timing be sped up as far as making a decision whether to annex or not? Because I believe under this PA 102-1123, that, the Lake County Board is required to make a decision on whether or not to issue this conditional use permit within 30 days of the public hearing, which means by August 31st, they're gonna say yay or nay, and if they say yay, I don't know, does that,
That I can address as a direct question. So yes, there is a lag time between the public hearing that will occur on August 31st, that multiple village officials are going to be at. And then the approval process goes through the county. The next public hearing will be on August the 13th. After that, I'm sorry, thank you,
For us.
for the village board. At that public hearing, unless something comes up, there is anticipated an annexation ordinance that would annex the property on the 13th, effective on the 14th pursuant to municipal law. That would be before August the 31st.
and that's just the properties that are requesting annexation.
That is the properties that are requesting annexation. Now, that could change. We are not here talking about we're not here about anything else other than the properties requesting annexation. Because this is a public hearing of limited jurisdiction, sorry, I might repeat myself. But that is with regards to that. Now, that could change, and that could be brought in at some point in time.
In order for us to make this process work for us regarding the annexation, the next step would be for the annexation of the property with the solar farm. How quickly could that happen? Assuming this all went.
So the theoretical construct steps could be taken once there is contiguity to that property.
And how quickly before August 31st, where the village board of Lake County has to make their decision?
I think August 14th.
August 14th?
I thought that was just for the property.
Nope. No, because once it's on there, then you can go.
Okay, thank you very much.
And again, I am not trying to be combative. I want to make sure that we follow the process. And when there's a boards of limited jurisdiction and hearings of limited jurisdiction, we stay within that jurisdiction.
Great, do you have your hands up?
My question was answered.
So Scott, Brent, and Scott.
Yeah, back to. All these people are here to request annexation because they have an interest that they need scratched. Okay, we're looking at that itch, trying to figure out how to scratch that itch. The property that is not here, that is the itch. They're here to be annexed too?
They are not part of this annexation process at this point in time.
Okay, so the annexation process annexes the current requestees. How does that give us impact on the non-requestee?
So one of the elements for all annexations in the state of Illinois is contiguity. The annexation through this process is an atypical one in so much that we're using the waterways, which is a change in the laws which happened after 2020, I believe 2023, and saying that the village, because it is contiguous to a waterway, then becomes contiguous to the property of the people who are here filing a petition for annexation. One of the C's in municipal law, they call them, with regards to annexation, is contiguity. The village has no contiguity to any other properties, let's say in land beyond the Grand Avenue property people seeking annexation today. But once those are in the village, then further steps can be taken with anyone who wants to annex, or the village decides it's in the best interest of the residents of the village to forcibly annex.
That was last statement. Any question? Our impact would be, you would have to forcibly.
You need
annex the
contiguity.
property
Correct.
if the other entity did not want to be.
You need to build a beachhead and then go forward on that. If that's your question with regards to any theoretical annexations outside the scope of the public hearing here today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One question. So, I firmly believe protecting nature is protecting our future. How fast can we speed up this process here legally?
We are reviewing any and all steps to expedite this process to protect any natural resources or the resources of residents and or potential residents of the village. As we said, one of the most important factor in an annexation is contiguity. So we need to establish the contiguity, which will be likely established on the voted on the 13th, published or approved on the 14th, and then additional steps to be taken. Sir?
Again, Tom DeBanno, 40924 Grand Avenue. Can't extraterrestrial jurisdiction be used to speed up the process?
Extraterritorial jurisdiction is a different matter than annexations. So annexations, why we're here tonight for this process of which you are one of the petitioners, is a separate and distinct issue that land use controls is established by different public acts. We can explore that and we can talk about that. As I said, I'm happy to opine on that issue, but I do want to keep this to what the hearing was noticed for and what was published for and what was discussed and the expectations of all parties involved, that is about this annexation. So if you want to stick around after the board meeting, I'm more than happy to talk about that. If that's okay with there. But I do want to keep this to the limited public hearing and the jurisdiction for why we noticed this up. And we'll be having a follow-up hearing on August the 13th with an anticipated ordinance allowing for the annexation of these properties, which will be passed on the 13th. I believe it would be passed on the 13th and then be published and certified on the 14th. Trustee Pierce.
Well, just one more statement. This is probably more for the crowd. And, it's been my experience if we don't follow steps properly, correctly, follow the proper timeline, and try to force things, that opens us to exposure and danger, and anything we do can be reversed. Can I correct that?
Yes, and again, following the process and procedures is essential to this. It is not a matter of intent, what people want necessarily. It is a matter of process. Was the document filed correctly? Were the steps taken correctly? And again, I don't mean to beat the dead horse, but that's why I keep on saying this is a meeting of limited jurisdiction. So one of the factors under our code is to have a public hearing. The public hearing, we are actually having two to ensure that all parties can say that notice was done and there's no debate that this is the intent of this body. We are having one tonight. We are having one on the 13th as discussed. So your point is well taken, trustee. And I don't mean to be redundant or repetitive, but I want to make sure that we follow. And the process is going to be followed step by step, and it is going to be done in a manner where we give everyone a right to be heard. And it is going to be followed in a manner that it would be not subject to recall or reversal before a trial.
Simplifying.
How about this then? We're gonna do it the right way.
All right, if nothing else, do I have a motion and a second to close this public hearing?
So moved.
Motion trustee Peterson, second trustee Pierce, roll call please.
Mason,
Yes.
Luther,
Yes.
Neal,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Pierce,
Aye.
Peterson.
Yes.
6 voting yes, motion carries. The public hearing is adjourned.